Organization, that what is an organization, as we when we talk about organization, so it actually is related to the organizing of something. So over here when we talk about an organization, it shows that it's a group of people which actually come together in a very orderly and structured manner. Their main emphasis is to be coordinated and achieve certain goals. That goals might be generation of profit. For example, when we are doing a business, so the main emphasis of that organization is to achieve profit or discovery of knowledge. That means when you different people came up together, and they want to find a solution to a problem, or if they want to generate a knowledge, like for example different kind of research activities, or national defense, like for example when you have an army, so their main job is to protect your country. So then in the national defense, there obviously there are people who are organized in a very coordinated manner, and their main objective is that they want to defend their country. Another thing is coordination of various local charities, as these local charities are working for the benefit of the people who are who are living in their localities. So if we coordinate activities of these charities, so they will provide maximum benefit. Whatever the case is, whatever the emphasis is, organization in the organization, we have people who are working in a very structured way, and they want to coordinate their activities, and in order to achieve certain goals. So that is something, or that is called as organization. Over here when we talk, when as we are in a business administration course, so over here we are mostly talked about the organization which is striving for profit, like business organizations. And what is management? When we talk about management, so obviously management is about arranging things in a very structured way, in a very orderly way. And within the organization, we have different kind of resources which have to be acquired, and which have to be coordinated, and which have to be used in the organization. And what are these different type of resources? These resources are your human resources, that the people who are working with, because any organization which is working, it cannot work without people. So you need human resources, you need financial resources, obviously you need money in order to do any kind of activities, or you need physical resources and your information resources. So these are main four different type of resources which are required by any organization to achieve. They need different type of resources. For example, there are different type of organization, and we can see that in different type of organization, different type of human, financial, physical and information resources. For example, OGDCL, these are actually oil and gas drilling corporation. So their human resources are the people who are working in drilling platforms, and another are their corporate executive who are working in their administration. Their financial resources are the profit which are being given to their profits and shareholder investments. And their physical resources are their refineries and office buildings in which their executives are working. And information resources are their sales force forecasts and OPEC declaration, that as all OPEC is responsible for determination of prices of oil. Therefore these declarations are very much important for OGDCL. Now, another organization is our city university, in which their human resources are their faculty, their admin, and their different executive staff. And their financial resources are fees which are being collected from their students, grants from different government or private organization, or alumni contribution. Their physical resources are their computer, their campus facilities, their buildings, and their information resources are their research reports and publication, and many other resources and information which might be the declaration of the government regarding universities or HEC regulation, and and different other informations which are very much more important for any university or any education institute. Now we can take a simple example of a grocery store. For a grocery store, human resources would be their grocery clerk, their bookkeeper, and their financial resources would be their profits, their owner equity. That means the investment by the owner himself, and buildings and display shelves are their physical resources, and their information resources are price lists from suppliers, newspaper ads of different competitors, and any other information or market intelligence information which they get from their market. So these are different type of resources, and organizations have to work with these different type of resources. They have to manage these resources in order to give maximum benefit for their organization. As we have discussed that the manager function has to be performed in different resources. So who are the people who are responsible for performing all the managerial activities and functions? So in any organization, managers are people who are responsible for performing all the managerial activities, which is actually combining and coordinating different resources, which are resources in order to achieve the ultimate goal of the organization. But what are different tactics and what are different techniques which will help them to combine and coordinate the various different resources? So these there are mainly four different type of functions which are very much useful for a manager in order to coordinate and combine bestly the organization resources. As in the organization, we have different type of resources. As you know, we have human resource, we have financial resource, we have physical resource, we have information resource, and these resources are there because organization wants to achieve their ultimate goal more effectively and more efficiently. So planning and decision making, organizing, leading and controlling are these functions which will help them to achieve the organization goal in a very effectively and efficiently manner. We will discuss the details of these functions in the next slides. Um, Now we can discuss the definition of a management. That is, that management is a set of activities. And what are these activities? These activities or these functions are your planning and decision making, your organizing, leading and controlling. These are the major managerial activities or managerial functions which are directed at organization resource. And what are these organization resources? The various resources which are human, financial, physical and information, which are being acquired from the outside the organization, from the environment. And the main aim is to achieve the organization goal in an effective and in efficient manner. So this is actually a management that is that it uses different activities, different functions, and it combines different resources, and with the help of these resources they will provide different services and goods to the people and achieve the organization goal in a very efficient and effective manner. So what is efficient and what is effective? That's something very much important. Efficient means that when you want to use the resources of the organization in a very cost effective way, that means that you will use minimum resources in order to achieve maximum benefit. For example, if you have a company like Toyota who are actually very well known for manufacturing cars, so they produces high quality products at a relatively low cost. So that means that they are very efficient in producing these cars. But you have to consider is that once you are efficient, it's very important that organization should achieve its goal effectively as well. As a firm could very efficiently produce big screen black and white television with few options and limited capabilities, will exceed no, it will not exceed. As succeed, as nobody want to have a big screen black and white television, because we have different kinds of and different style of television available. So why people will go for a cheap or for a big screen black and white television, which prices are very low, because people are now used to have a color television. So that means that this is not very effective. So being inefficient is very important, but effectiveness is very much important for which will have actually which will give benefit to efficiency as well. So effectiveness, what is effectiveness? It is making the right decision and successfully implementing them. For example, the same Toyota motor also produces the cars or vehicles which are very stylish and which have a very high quality, in order to provide satisfaction and to their customer, which will help them to gain the interest and confidence of their customer. So this means that they are producing cars in a very low price, low cost, but these cars are also very stylish, they have a very good quality, and they are able to gain interest and confidence of their customer. So being inefficient is important, but at the same time effectiveness is necessary for efficiency to be successful. So, who is the manager? A manager is someone whose primary responsibility is to carry out the management process. That means that management is not an automatic activity, it has to be done by some people. So, the managers are the people who have to plan, who have to make decisions, who have to make organize all the activities, and they have to perform as a leader and control different activities regarding different resources of the organization. No doubt managers are at their different hierarchy level in the organization, but whatever the level of the manager is, they have to perform all these functions, because they have to work with humans, money and physical resources and information resource. So the manager is the person who have to perform all the managerial activities. And and discussing the managerial process, first of all we will discuss planning and decision making. What is planning? As planning is something which we can say that thinking in advance before doing any kind of activity, it's very important that we have to see the pros and cons, or different scenarios associated with that, different environmental factors, external environment and internal environmental factors, and future responses. So all these things are very much important. So the main emphasis of planning activities are that they have to screen out, or they have to make scrutiny of their external environment, their internal environment, and seeing the different future options for the organization. That means that planning means setting the organization goals. And another thing which is very much important is, and it's actually part of the planning process, that is that you have to decide the best course of action, or best way to achieve that goal. Firstly, we have to determine the goal, and after that we have to decide that how we are going to achieve that goal. That is the major function of decision making, as it's a planning part of planning process, in which we have to select a course of action from a set of different alternatives. That means that we have different options. For example, if you want to want to introduce new products, so how we will going to introduce that product, and what would be the best possible way for introducing that product, would be the part of decision making, in which they'll see different courses of action, and based upon their past experience, based upon the market response, they'll select a best course of action which will help to achieve the organization goal. Now, these planning and decision making help an organization uh, help an organization to allocate their time and resources in a best possible way, and obviously maintain the managerial effectiveness. The second important activity is your organizing. Organizing actually is related to arranging different activities in a very coordinated way. So the main function of organizing is coordinating activities and resources. As you have different kinds of resources in which you have to work, you have people who have to be do work. So once the planning process is being decided, the other thing that is very much important is to organize people, organize resources in a best possible way. So once a manager has set a goal and develop a workable plan, the next managerial function is to organize people and other resources necessary to carry out the plan. That means that you have to assign work to people, give them resources, and give them tasks to achieve, to carry out the plan. So organization involves determining how activities and resources are to be grouped. The third function is leading. That means that when you are working with people, it's very important that you have to keep them motivated regarding your work. So it's a process through which you can help the people achieve their goals, and to work together, and to achieve the goal of the organization in a best possible way. So it's a process which is used to get the members of the organization to work together to further the interest of the organization. So it doesn't mean that if you are leading the people, so you have to dictate them. It's something very much important that we should understand, that when you are working in an organization, you have to make people do the work in a very pleasant way. So, as you have to, as these are the people who will give you benefit in the future, so you have to keep them motivated, and that is the main function of a manager as a leader. The last function of managerial process is your controlling. That means that the controlling process is actually a process in which the manager has to monitor the activities of the people, and they have to evaluate the different activities. So monitoring is organization progress towards its goal. That means that you will, time to time, you will see that whether the organization is achieving its goal, progressing or not, and what actually lapses are there which will hinder your performance, or hidden your target hinder your target. So as the organization move forward its goals, manager must towards its goal, manager must monitor progress to ensure that it is performing in such a way as to arrive at its destination at the appointed time. That means that you don't want to waste more time, because time is also a resource. So the main emphasis of a controlling process is that they have to monitor that all the activities are being done according to plan, and whether the execution is exactly done which is being planned previously. And because you don't want to waste any time, and it's also very important that you should perform the controlling activity from time to time. At the end, when you are performing these monitoring and evaluating activity, it's of no use. It's very important that you should perform the controlling process from time to time. So it's actually the controlling process of the is actually ensuring the effectiveness and efficiency needed to for successful management. And so you will perform different corrective actions, you will make changes in the plan, because some certain time the manager can be is wrong certain ways, and they haven't planned well for that. So in that thing, you can replan for different activities, because there would be a little more defect in the plan. So whatever the case is, you have to do for corrective action, you have to do penalties, you have to make corrections. So these are the responsibility of controlling. The main emphasis is that you want to keep the organization on track towards its goal. Kinds of manager. as there are many managers in the organization, and there are different types of managers which are appointed at different levels of the organization in order to control and perform the managerial activities. So first of all, first we will discuss those managers which are at different levels of the organization. That means that there are different hierarchy level, like there are top level managers, middle level managers, and lower level managers. So first of all, the first group is your top managers. These top managers are the people, or the managers who are working at the upper level of the organization, and these are the people who are majorly responsible for the decision, like where to invest in the business and what type of business you should be involved in, and making long-term strategies, vision of the organization. All these things are being done at this level, and these are a small group of executives who manage the overall organization. Major title of these managers are president, vice president, chief executive officer, or CEO, etc. So these people, these managers are responsible to organize and to create organization goals, that what they want to achieve in the future, and overall strategy, that what how they're going to achieve that goals and objective they have developed at the starting stage, and their operating policies, that how they'll decide the SOPs for every type of activity, and long term major umbrella kind of policies which are being followed by the overall the organization. Then they actually the people who officially represent organization to the external environment. Like for example, they are representing the organization, like if they are meeting with government official or executive of other organizations, so they are the people who are actually representing their organization, and their job is very complex, and they have to perform different types of activities, like for example, as they are the responsible for the overall organization, so they can make decision like acquiring other companies, like if they want to expand their business, so they can acquire already established businesses, or they can make investment in different kind of activities like in research and development, or they can give approval for building new plants and other office facilities. So majorly the main investment and financing decisions, and deciding about the type of products they want to develop, all these major decisions are being done at this level. Now these are the first line managers, or the managers who are actually appointed at the operating employees, and they actually are responsible for supervising and coordinating the activities of all the workers who are they are working at the operational levels. And the main title of these managers are supervisor, coordinator, and office managers. As they enter into management from the rank of operating personnel, they oversee the day-to-day operations of their respective stores, hire operating employees staff, then handle other routine administrative duties required of them by the parent corporation. That means that these are the people who are actually being appointed at the management level, are appointed as a first line manager by their good performance and as operational worker. So they are actually are well aware of all the activities of operating employees, and how they can these activities can be performed more swiftly and efficiently, so they can clearly supervise and coordinate all these activities. Not only we have different levels of management in the organization, we have different functional areas of the organization, and many managers are qualified in these specialized areas, and they are performing activities regarding these functional areas. Like for example, if we look into this picture, if we look at the hierarchy level, we have top managers, middle managers, and first line managers. But at the when we see that they are marketing, they are this group the whole organization is divided into different department as well. like for example marketing department, finance department, operations, human resource, administration, and others. So these are the functional departments of the organization, and there are managers who are specialized in these fields of these different fields, and these are they are appointed at this managerial these specialized departments. So we have different type of managers regarding their specialized area as well, as there are managers appointed at different functional areas. So first of all we have marketing managers, who is actually specialized in the field of marketing, and he has to perform all the managerial activities regarding their marketing function, like for example getting the consumer to buy organization products, services. They also give they also contribute in the development of a new product, promotion, advertising, distribution of the product. So all these activities which are related to marketing are being managed and supervised and done by the marketing managers. Then we have financial managers, who deal primarily with organizational financial resources. For example, they are responsible for accounting, cash management, and investment. Then we have operations managers, who they are actually related to the operations of the organization, and they have to create such a system which can increase the efficiency of the whole system, and they can create companies or organization products and services, like they'll perform the production control, inventory control, quality control, plant layout, and site selections. So actually these operation managers are actually there to facilitate operations and to smooth line the operating activities of the organization. Another are managers are human resource managers, as the name suggests that these are responsible for the management of the of human resource appointed in the organization. For example, hiring and developing employees, the human resource planning, that how much people you are required in each department, how much recruitment you should done, what should be the procedure of your selection and training and development, and how much you should give as a in a form of compensation. So they have to design the whole compensation and benefit system, and the most important is they have to develop a very authentic performance appraisal system, and discharging low performing and problem employees. So all these things are the responsibility of human resource managers, and they are performing these activities. So there is another form of manager which are called administrative managers, and they are actually not specialized in any one field, but they are you can say general managers who are associated with any particular management species. I mean they are not very actually particularly associated with particular management specialty. They have actually familiarity with all the functional areas, and they actually perform the activities which can going to actually organize, and they can coordinate all activities of all the functional departments. There are many other specialized managers. For example, we have public relation managers, R&D managers, and internal consultants managers. So all these managers are responsible to perform activities regarding their own specialized field. Now we will discuss certain basic managerial roles and skills. That means that what type of roles or what type of performance or what type of activities should be performed by managers, and what skills which are required to perform these managerial roles. So regardless of level or area within the organization, all manager must play certain roles and exhibit certain skill in order to be successful. That means that certain skills and certain roles which have to be performed by managers. Henry Mintzberg have actually identified three major roles which has to be performed by the managers in the organization. First one is their interpersonal role, second one is their informational role, and the third one is their decisional role. So we will discuss these roles one by one. First of all, interpersonal role. As the interpersonal role means that they are in consistently interaction with the people, so they have to perform the interpersonal roles. For example, the first role they have to perform under this is their figurehead. That means that these are the managers. There are managers who are actually uh, actually at the upper level of the organization, and they are being represented as the head of that organization or department or any other kind of activities which they are performing. So these activities that are more ceremonial and symbolic, that means that as a figurehead they have to represent their organization. They have to take visitors to dinners. They have to attend the different ribbon cutting ceremonies, or they have to represent their organization in different seminars or different you can say philanthropic activities. So the first one is that as an interpersonal role they have to perform as a figurehead. Secondly, as a leader, because at any point when we said as manager, so managers are actually lead people. So formally, informally, they have to show their subordinates that how to do things and how to perform under pressure. So they are responsible for guiding their people. They have to help them to do their different tasks. They have to hire, they have to train, and they have to motivate their employees in order to complete the task in a very pleasant manner. The third one is the liaison. That means they are coordinator. The coordinator means that they have to link or different activities, or link different people or group of the organization. For example, and when we talk about companies in the computer industry, they use license to keep other companies informed about their plans. So this is actually a very important role, because every organization, every group of people who are working, or people even which are working in the organization, if they are well coordinated, so they can perform well as in the adverse situation. As information roles, so when we talk about information roles, so that means that they have to deal with information. First of all, as a monitor, so when we are talking about as a monitor, so that means that they are continuously seeking information in order to find out that our works are done according to a plan or not people are following all the SOPs or not, and whether they are managers, they see that subordinate are well aware of all the well aware and of their task, and whether they are completing their task in time, and every kind of activities which are very important to the organization. So in this monitor role, say they seek information in order to find out any deviation which can create problem in the future. So in the second role, that is called as a disseminator. Disseminator means that they want to have to spread information and make the right information available to the right people at the right time. That means that they have to transmit relevant information to the people, specifically to the people who are at the workplace, like via memos, like for example information regarding holidays, information regarding any major setback. So all these information have to be disseminated to the people who are working in the organization. Third information role is as a spokesman. That means that they have to represent their organization to the outside world, like for some of the information which have to be communicated to the general public. As a spokesman, they have to communicate that information to the outside people or to the outside organization. For example, we can say that as a plant manager, they have transmitted information about the top level management, or the managers may also represent the organization before a chamber, like for example chamber of commerce. So they can speak for and represent the organization under a different session or meetings. So last role actually is called as the decisional roles. That means that they have to make important decisions. So how they can take these decision, and what decisional roles the manager has to perform. So first of all, as an entrepreneur, like for example, when we talk about an entrepreneur, so entrepreneur is the person who has to take bold decision, who have to take risk in order to achieve achieve success in the business world, or take new innovative idea to be operationalized. So they has to perform as an entrepreneur. Secondly, disturbance handler. That means that while you are working in the organization and you are head of a department, so obviously you have people around you, and whenever there are people, there are have certain unexpected disturbance and unexpected situations, or there are certain natural disaster, or sometimes there are earthquakes or all these things, or fire. So how they can handle these situations, it's the major responsibility of the manager to take quick decision and a right decision. Third thing is the resource allocator, because as a manager you have to distribute resources to the people who are working under you. So how you can distribute resources and how you can maximum utilize your resources, that is actually depend upon the decision taken at different times. So that's actually a very important role that has to be played by the managers under the decisional role. Last one is the as a negotiator. So that for example, when you are a manager and you have to handle people, certain time you have conflict between the workers, or between the people, the subordinates themselves, or there is a conflict between the your customer and your worker, or there is many other union problems as such. So how you can negotiate all these things properly, and how you can represent your company, that's actually the role which has to be played by the manager. In the previous slide, we discussed about different roles which has to be played by the manager. So in order to perform, or order to fulfill these roles, or perform these roles, it's very important that manager have certain managerial skills in order to perform all these roles, being as a manager. So the most fundamental managerial skills are technical skill, interpersonal skill, conceptual skill, diagnostic skill, communication skill, decision making skill, and time management. So we will discuss these managerial skills one by one in the next slides. First of all, we have technical skill. So when we talk about technical skills, so that means that the technical skill means that they should have a knowledge about the field in which they are working. So it is it's necessary to accomplish or understand the specific kind of work being done. That means that, for example, if you are working in the marketing department, so you have you should have information about the marketing and all the dynamics of marketings, because these skills are especially very much important when you are working as a first line manager, because at that level you are supervising the operating employees who are working in the fields. So if you are not much equipped with that technical knowledge, so you cannot pinpoint the deviation they are making, and you cannot guide them that how best they can perform. So it's very important that managers should have a thorough knowledge of the field in which they are working. So they should have these technical skills. Secondly, interpersonal skill. Interpersonal skill is very much important at all levels of the organization, because being a manager is all about communicating with people. Communicating with people, like ability to communicate with, understand and motivate both individual and groups. So it's very important when you are working with your subordinates, like for example, if you are head, so you have to properly communicate with the people who are working under you, or peer groups, the people, or how you can interact with your your colleagues, it's also very important. So you should have interpersonal skill like that, or those at higher ups, higher up level. For example, if you are a lower level manager, or you are a lower level manager or first line manager, so you have to interact with the people, with the managers who are working at upper level. So how you can communicate with them, and what information you should provide them, how you can negotiate with them, it's very important. So this skills is very important for being a manager. So conceptual skills. So conceptual skill is very much important. That means that the manager should have ability to think in abstract. That means that when certain things are not very clear, so they can easily pinpoint the problems. They can easily find out that what is the situation around you and how you can handle those situations. So the mental capacity is to understand organization goals and its environment. That means when you are setting goals, the environment is there, but in the environment is not very cannot be predicted by 100%. So you should the manager must have a thorough understanding of the environment, in how this your goals and how your techniques, or your organizational products will have impact on the environment, and how the environment will help you regarding your goals, and how the organization should be structured, and how the work should be distributed, and how the different resources should be distributed among the distributed among the people who are working in the organization is very important. And viewing organization as a system, like for example, how you can how certain things have impact on the other things, and how the different factors can have a very good or bad impact on the organization, because we are thinking organization as a system which cannot work without its different components. So you have to see organization as a system, not as a separate components. So conceptual skill will help you to understand all these things very properly. Another skill is called as a diagnostic skill. That means that how you can visualize the most important response to certain situation. That means that you can how you can diagnose certain factors and certain impacts of certain things on the activities you are performing. So as for example, when we can take the example of a physician who can diagnose the illness in the same way as a manager can diagnose and analyze a problem in the organization by studying its symptoms and then develop a solution. That means that if you are seeing certain employees behaving in a certain way, so you can easily find out the problem behind that, and you can pinpoint that problem and find out the solution to that. So being a manager, it's very important that you should have a diagnostic skill as well. Communication skills, that how the managers can communicate information to the people who are working in the organization. So a manager's ability to both to convey ideas and information to others, and to effectively receive idea information from others. That means that as a managers, you have to convey your ideas, you convey your suggestions and information to your subordinates, to your peer group, or to your head, to people who are working above you, like for example your seniors. So so continuously they are in communication. So if you have a good communication skill, you can effectively being a manager, you can effectively convey your message to the people. So it enable a manager to transmit ideas to subordinates, to coordinate work with peers and colleagues, and to keep higher level managers informed about what is going on. So in addition to that, they can also help manager listen to with others to say and to understand the real meaning behind a letter, report, and other written communication. Like for example, in this case, listen to others means that when you are working as a manager, you have to listen to the problems of others, and you cannot only listen to the person who was complaining, but you can also go to the people, go to the situation in which they came to you, and they have communicate problems to you. So you and and certain times there are certain letters or reports which are being communicated to you, so you have to find out the reason behind these reports and reason and the other written communication, because in certain times these things are done in just only to harm the reputation of the of any person, person who is very honest and who are working very carefully. So you have to find out all these things and then make decisions. So communication skill is also very much important. Then decision making skill at any time point in time, whether it's a first line manager, it's a lower first it's a middle manager, it's a top manager, or manager who are working in different specialized areas, taking is a very important skill that will help you in any kind of situation. So the manager's ability to correctly recognize and define problems and opportunities, and to select an appropriate course of action to solve problems and capitalize on opportunity. That means that whenever there are certain problems or any opportunities available, so how we can appropriately avail this opportunity or avoid certain problems or solve this problem by taking appropriate decision at right time. It's not very important or it's not very compulsory that every time manager take right decision, but it's very important that the manager should take effective decision most of the time. And it's also very important that if at any point in time manager has taken bad decision, so if and they realize that they have mistakenly taken that decision, or they have decision was not good, or decision was not right at that time, so they should correctly recognize their mistake and correct their decisions, or rather than to cover them with taking other foolish decisions. So it's very important that managers should take correct decision at correct time, and if that is so, it would be a very successful manager. The person would call be a successful manager. And last thing, and the very most important thing, is time management skills. As it's not only confined to managers, or confined to any other, confined to only the organization, in the organization setting, but time management skills are very important for every person who are working. So the manager's ability to prioritize work, to work effectively, efficiently, and to delegate appropriately. That means that they should devote their time according to the priority, that they have to do most important things first, and they have to equip people with right resources at right time, and they can delegate different tasks and different activities at proper time. So if that is so, that it will help the manager to effectively complete their task, to complete their job. So time management skills are very much important for being a successful manager as well.